trumpet mushroom barley risotto is the plate we're cooking up here with Chef Steph and Moise from the Ridge Tahoe. Describe wild trumpet mushrooms and what they're going to taste like compared to other mushrooms.
So these are very large. They come in a long stem with a huge cap.
Okay.
They're trumpet, they're fiddle. There's all sorts of different words for it, but these are grown in Sacramento for us.
Okay.
You can mix the three different kinds of gnocchi with it. Olive oil to start. And remember, cooking is hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling, tasting. And so now I can hear this. And all I want to do is sweat these. And remember, this isn't going to take very long because you have everything already cooked. We have some fresh roasted chicken stock here to cook down the barley, bring it up to temperature. I also have some sweet roasted garlic cloves, which is something that I really like because it really counters the raw shallot flavor.
You're going to stick those in whole?
Oh yeah. And then what I'm going to do is, since these are cold, I'm just going to throw some cooked barley in, and when I cooked it with chicken stock, you can cook it with vegetable stock too. It's really whatever floats your boat. And I'm going to throw the wild mushrooms in. And I'm just going to let this start cooking down. And remember, a true risotto, when you're building it, you only put enough liquid in till it reduces down, then you add more. So now I'm going to start with a little bit of chicken stock. And anytime you do this or this process of risotto type making, you should be able to hear it sizzle. When you put the stock in, you only put enough.
Perfect timing.
So you want to hear it, and actually what happens is you don't put too much in, and what happens, it actually starts to steam things. Instead of actually boiling it. You don't really want to go to that boiling point. And then I'm going to throw the roasted garlic cloves in, so what happens is it starts to pick up and soften it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish with just a couple pads of butter, and we're going to start building the creaminess to it now.
Here comes the flavors.
The butter is almost melted. Remember, the idea is you're not supposed to cook the butter. You're supposed to melt the butter. That's why we put it in near the end.
Bind it real quick.
And then bind it. And you really don't want to cook the Parmesan too much. So these are all adding those last few layers to it. So I'm smelling the Parmesan, I'm smelling the butter, and that's a really cool thing. But then it all changes when you put the fresh chives on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a touch of chive. That's going to bring a freshness to it and color, but kind of a freshness to it, which is really important. And then I want to see the mushrooms on the top. It's okay, you know, I mean, it just works really well, but you know, that took like 6-7 minutes to do.
That was great.
And then I'm just going to finish with the white truffle oil. And since it's really strong, it's only an accent. So when you are at a table and you're setting it down in front of your guests, they're going to smell the truffle.
Instant sensations,
And that starts an anticipation of someone wanting to eat.
Well, we appreciate the time. Folks, that is a risotto made with love by Chef Steph and Moise from the Ridge Tahoe. Let's dig in.
Dig in. All right.